Hey everybody, it's Bust with Bust Builds Decks number 35. Today we will be doing battle with our 3-star Jhin up against the 5-star Lissandra, the Frost Witch. And so, if you didn't catch our previous video, Jhin hits all of the boxes. He checks all the marks on everything we're looking for within a good Path of Champions deck. We're looking for three things, right? We want to have scaling, which Jhin hits with the setting the stage ability here in the middle. When an ally plays a skill, you give them +1/+1. We have ways to grow our units over and over and over again throughout the course of the game without adding anything else to our deck. We're looking for a way to elusive, overwhelm, or rally, which Jhin really hits the mark with all of his stuns, the Lotus Trap coming out of his hero power, the captive audience coming out of beauty and death, to where we can get a stun for 0 mana, or we'll circle back to the relics that we use. We also hit some stuns there. And so with Elusive, Overwhelm, or Rally, we're typically talking about a way to say we have a 20/20 unit, we attack with it. If it has Elusive, our opponent can't block it. If it has Overwhelm, it gets to deal extra damage through the opposing unit's toughness. And with a Rally, we typically attack. The opponent blocks with all their units all die, then we get to attack again and actually deal damage. You can't just attack with that 20/20 unit and have it deal no damage to the opponent, and then they get to untap, drop the Watcher, drop the big board, make a big attack, whatever. And so we're looking for ways to get around that. Stuns are the way Jhin gets around it. And then last but not least, we're looking for a way to single target remove an opposing unit, be it a Vengeance, a Stun, something like a Recall, whatever. Jhin hits all of that as well with these captive audiences all on his own. And so he has everything that we need within the core of his deck. And then we kind of tie that into the relics. And so if we swing back to the relic space, I made mention of being able to stun again. We're using the Tempest Blade for that. And so being able to basically rally or level up Jhin on attack, that's what happens the vast majority of the time. Getting this burst speed stun across the entirety of the opposing board is very similar to getting a rally. If they can't block with any of their units, then we're free to just deal damage. It's the same as attacking, killing all of your opponent's units, and then attacking again. So we're good there. Then we also use the Lost Chapter, just a way to perhaps protect our Jhin or just cast a spell as soon as he comes down. We're going to try and get our Jhin on board as fast as possible, and so getting that flexibility out of the Lost Chapter is nice. I can certainly see some arguments for using other relics. Using something to give him quick attack or give him challenger all makes sense to me, but I like getting this mana bonus back. And so, that is it. That is what we will be doing battle with today. Where are you at, Lissandra? Where is the Frost Witch? Let's start that adventure. So good stuff. I'm excited. We steamrolled the previous run against Aurelian Soul. We had the doubling dice on a captive audience, and so we were just generating 4 and 5 captive audiences for free turn after turn after turn. It's a very easy finish. We'll see if we can't assemble something nice and strong for Lissandra here as well. And so, as far as this start goes, nothing particularly interesting. The Trundle I do not want. The Misfortune, kind of interesting in that she has a couple of skill-based units, so the Crackshot Corsair along with Misfortune herself, and then she does just start within the deck, right? We just draw her if she's not in our opening hand, and so I would say under normal circumstances, to avoid burning rerolls, I would just take the Misfortune. She's going to synergize well enough with what we're trying to do that she would work in the deck. The reason I'm not going to take Misfortune is if you scroll back like 3 videos in the channel, we had a base Misfortune run with Jhin as the supporting champion, and I feel like that's just going to be too similar. I want to mix it up a little bit, and so we'll continue the search for a supporting champion. And so I do concede Misfortune is probably the answer here, but for the sake of variety, we'll keep moving on. And so within the next pass, Nico not super interested in. Ziggs kind of interesting in that space, being a skill-based champion as well. We're probably just going to ignore anything that has to do with relics and just say, okay, Ziggs can attack and generate a skill. It's not the worst thing in the world. And then there is a Vhagar. With Vhagar, like I'm not amped about Vhagar if we're not building around Vhagar. Like Vhagar as your base champion with all the skills and the relics and everything tied into him is fine. Having him be a support for Jhin is feels like kind of a bait, right? We do get to generate all of the spells that count as skills with the darknesses, but Vhagar is a much more kind of like defensive combo champion to where Jhin is more of an attacky combo champion. I just don't think they're going to synergize. And so to come in and preserve our rerolls, I'm just going to go ahead and take the Ziggs. He's a decent one, right? He has the mana gem attached to him. The Unraveled Earth cycles at worst, and then we can look to just get the Bomber Twins out of our deck. But even them starting as a 4-3 for 2 mana isn't the worst thing that we could do on the first turn of the game. And so Ziggs, welcome to the team, welcome to the squad. What do we get down here in the powers? And so the Blade's Edge, the bouncing blades with Jhin, another pretty decent one, right? It guarantees that we have a skill to play every turn, and it also works with us taking the Lost Chapter, right? We can find a lot of turns that are challenging to actually spend that spell mana, and so I'm not completely opposed to it. Otherwise, Visayan Disciple don't want, and then when you summon a created ally, give it +2/+2 out of the Biggle Dust stash. I don't immediately think of any combos that are going to come out of that. So we'll pick up the Bouncing Blades. It's not super strong, but it does have some build-around components to it here in the early game. 200 Gs out of the gold chest into the big shop. What do we got here? So I always like looking at the items. This is where the fun stuff really starts, right? And not horrible in here. You know, getting the start in hand on the Boom Crew Rookie, not quite as good as having it start on a champion, although starting with, you know, maybe a 6-card hand in the beginning of the game's not that bad. Don't really want this upgrade to the Mystic Shot or the Crack Shot Corsair, so let me check these Baya cards real quick. Probably going to go back and re-roll the Baya items. And so landmark stuff, don't want. Pow Pow, very interesting thing here. Pow Pow with the doubling dice does have a lot of opportunity just to chain off an absolute ton of damage onto the enemy. I'm kind of tempted to pick this one up. The downside with Pow Pow is its burst speed, and that doesn't combo with Jhin. But this is just an all-around very fantastic removal spell, and so I'm kind of interested in it. What is the upgrade to the Jhin spell? The Dancing Grenade gets a +2 damage. That's not horrible. Doing 3 damage on the front side and 7 or 6 damage on the back. I don't know. It's just I might just have a Aurelian Soul too far in mind to where the champions are all so big that you just assume that you'll never kill anything with these damage-based removals. And so I'm leaning towards the Pow Pow. That can really come in and clean up a lot of boards just very, very easily and on the cheap, but might be better. Oh, I don't want to leave just yet. Might be better off just spending it on the items. Let's see. Let's take a roll, see what turns up. And so Yone, reduce my cost by the cost of your most expensive allied champion. Not bad. Playing a 2-mana Yone is a pretty decent deal. I do like the discount on the Boom Crew Rookie as well. And so let's go ahead and snatch both of these up. Where does that leave us monetarily? At 110. So we could purchase these handful of Pow Pows. Looks like we can only get 2 copies of it with the money that we have. I think that's fine, and we'll move on. And so after this, I'm going to look towards here. We either have an item chest or a spell chest. I'm going to go towards the item chest. Right. It's an item chest both ways. And so do these battles matter? I think we can handle the Omen Hawk easily. We can stun through the big attack. The Yetis are a little bit more challenging, and we have a lot of kind of damage-based removal. So let's head towards the Omen Hawk here. Get in our initial battle. So good stuff. Good stuff. Reasonable enough start. What do we got here? I'm just going to mulligan hard for Jhin. I feel like we have enough early game stuff to where we'll probably mulligan into other early game stuff, and so just the importance of having Jhin around kind of outweighs a lot of the other problems there. All right, so Boom Crew Rookies gonna pop off. And look at all the stats on this guy already. Ugh. Ugh. This is the double stat round, right? Not confusing myself. Yeah, double the stats and grant fearsome to the first unit the foe plays. I gotcha. We can handle that. He doesn't have overwhelm. It's not that big of a deal.
I've got these.
All right, a little bit more problematic with another giant unit coming in. We can't just block it, of course, but that's not the way you come out and have fun, you know. And so I'm leaning towards just dropping the thermogenic beam. It's not particularly mana effective here. Oh shit, I forgot about Lotus Trap. Well, Jin's in hand. He's not going to get a stun. But I think this is okay. The captive audience coming in. Once these cards start popping, it comes back into my brain how this stuff works, and we're gonna be completely fine this round. So let's just go ahead and take the stun on the big boy, win the combat where we can win it. We can look to get Jhin on board next turn. We'll have enough skills to get this Lotus Trap up and running, right? We'll get the 3 mana back. We can Mystic Shot Blade's Edge, and then we'll get a stun out of something if we want. So I think that that's going to be fine. Might be coming up to a double stun. I'll have to see how that works. Maybe we can't pull it off without the Boom Crew rookie. Right, this gets us up to 2 of 3 for a Lotus Trap. Might need to just pass on attacking this turn, right? This does get us the stun, but he can still block with his big boy. We would have needed, if we had, now our other unit still would have been 1 short. That's okay. Let's at least make sure we still get the skill out here. It'll get us a little bit closer to the Jhin level up, and then I think we'll be okay on this next round. Oh shit, got the captive audience coming in. Probably still just shouldn't attack. Okay, let's just take it slow. Getting bamboozled by these Jhin combos. It's too early in the morning. I need to wait to a little bit later in the day. This stuff will make a little bit more sense. Let's see if we can't pow some of this down. Did it regenerate? All right, there's 1. Here comes 2. That's where the party stops. It's a bit of a bummer. I was kind of hoping that we will be able to save the stage hand for next turn, but we're probably going to be a little bit short on damage for finishing off the round anyways. Alright, let's just go ahead and drop the stun.
I have prepared something very special. Took the bait.
It's not a massive trapper, right?
Hot on the trail. How pedestrian.
Our Jhin is at 1 of 3. So we'll look to go ahead and play the Blade's Edge after combat, get us a little bit closer to just having all of the stuns next turn. I think we're still going to be a little bit short in terms of the damage we can deal, but it's at least starting to come together. I've been very glad that we have this Blade's Edge as well, right? You can see how it's able to come out and just give us a bunch of skills. Now, where this is going to get a bit weird is I want to Mystic Shot away the Sentry, but the Lotus Trap is going to land on it as well. And so we messed this up a bit. Let's just go ahead and stun his big boy. And then what I'll aim to do is to just take the hook on his other giant unit and kill it off with Mystic Shot. And then we should be generating a captive audience to take down... Oh, we just got our stun thing. Jesus. I'm forgetting about everything today. I don't know why people even bother with this, you know? The last video just went so much smoother in terms of everything. Oh my god. I'm losing my brain. How much damage are we looking at here? Just 21 coming in? Let me go ahead and preemptively take away his blocker. Another dude. What do we need? We need 2 more to get the ability to pop off. Alright, let's just send this stuff to face. We might be at lethal now. This is going to Lotus Trap onto his other blocker. We'll get the stun on his whole team. Jhin will also deal the 4 damage to everything, and so we're going to get a bit of clear out of his board. That's why I was kind of interested in saving the Mystic Shot for the Unscarred Reaver, because we were going to hit it for 4 with Jhin. But it's not going to be quite there. Where is this? 22 damage rolling in. That's close to lethal. He shouldn't be able to kill us next turn. Alright, I guess it's fine. Immediately drawing a Yeti. What's the Ziggs flip? Bouncing Bomb. Deal 2 to a unit. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely fine now. We just need to be able to attack with Jhin, and the day will be done. Whew. We're gonna be in for it today, though. If things are going like this already, we're gonna be in for a treat today. Alright, we'll just go ahead and stun out the board. Don't have to worry about the combat. I think this is enough to bring back a Another captive audience, yeah, so we can stun that last Yeti if we need to. Looked like there was a Lotus Trap here in the middle that was kind of wasted. The true Jhin connoisseurs out there, I'm sure, could have figured that out a little bit better, but at least we got through it. We got through this game, you know. Top 8 and opens is nothing. It's more challenging to figure out the Jhin and the Path of Champions. Oh my god. Okay. Get us out of this game. Get us into these next battles. Ooh. At least you get to kind of see the combos, as poorly executed as they were. At least you get to see what's going on there. That's the Tempest, man, it's tough. It's tough. You wake up in the morning, you do a little bit of stuff, and then you start recording the old Path of Champions video before your old man brain's awake. Ooh. It's tough. But alright, what do we got going on here? Not the greatest set of champions. Like, the thing with Ravenbloom Conservatory is we tend to just, like, not have the mana to play Tybalax, but maybe that's just the kind of top end we need here. It does have some minor combos with Ziggs, but we're not realistically going to be flipping our Ziggs. And so the Conservatory, I do worry that it's just going to, like, take up a board space that we need. But it does have, you know, a ton of combos within our deck if we do get that Tybalax on board. Another interesting one is the Chakram Dancer. Like, this question right here is basically, what do we want our top end to be, right? And we can either just have the kind of slow grind of the Chakram Dancer, or we can pick up the more impactful Conservatory. And I think we'll just take the Conservatory here. And it should level up quickly enough to maybe be interesting. So into the item chest, what do we have out of this? The Pow Pows summoning Poros. That's just not the deck for today. There is some interesting stuff that can come out of that with the doubling dice, generating additional Pow Pows, generating additional Poros, but I don't think that's quite where we want to be on the round. The Boom Crew Rookie is quite interesting down here, though. It has the Power Rift, so it costs 1 less for each card you've drawn this turn. I think we can just get infinite free ones down here with the Spirit Stone. Maybe? Or is just the first one free? I think probably it's just the first one free, then the second copy is not free. But I think that that's probably still our best option here. Gives us another, you know, good early, good late aspect to the deck to where we can just play it on turn 1, turn 2, be happy about it. Or if it's like turn 6 and we need to spend a bunch of mana, we can just flood the board with Boom Crew Rookies. It's not that bad of a place to be. And so let's dive on in. We'll run through these battles a little bit faster. If you're not familiar with the way I handle these videos, I talk through the first battle. We'll talk about one of the mini bosses out here, and then the final battle itself. And then we're going to fast forward through all of these battles in between. We're already at like the almost the 20-minute mark here. We'll be here for 2.5 hours if we talk through every battle. And so it will speed up a little bit from this point. Alright, so into the next set of rewards. Not a great set of cards. I'm leaning towards just taking the Loping Telescope, just as kind of a value play. I don't want the Endless Devout. I don't want it summoning sarcophaguses. We don't really get anything out of the predict from the time in a bottle. Like, I guess we could predict a Ravenbloom Conservatory, but that sounds kind of shitty. We'll just pick up the Loping Telescope and maybe generate some decent value out of it. Moving in, up to another fight here with the Protective Broodfather. After that, what do we have? Fallen Feline or Item Chest. Probably head towards the Item Chests as we look to get towards this She Who Wanders in the middle. Alright, so here we are. A bit of a whoopsies. I forgot to record the previous game. It really tied in. What I think we're going to be trying to do with this deck is getting a bunch of free Boom Crew Rookies on the board and using that to activate the Ravenbloom Tome, or the Ravenbloom Conservatory. I think that that's the way that this deck is going to kind of piece itself together. And so with the Ravenborn Tome, I'm usually pretty okay with it in this style of deck. It does really combo hard with Jhin. and it gives us a way to spend our mana after we play him, right? We play Jhin, we get that 3 spell mana. We've mainly been just using it to kind of Blade's Edge and Mystic Shot. Being able to play Jhin and then immediately equip him with the Tome is pretty strong, and so I think we can add it in here. There is a Loping Telescope. I talk sometimes about adding in extra copies of cards we already have but don't want, so we get more cuts out of our deck, but I think the Conservatory is going to be strong enough here to be interested in. So moving forward, we can either go to Fallen Feline, which I don't know what it does, and then up into an Ethereal Remitter, which I also don't know what it does, or we have an item chest and gold chest. Let's go to the ones I don't know. Maybe I can nail in my brain what this stuff actually does. And so select a card, add 2 copies of it to your deck. Are any of these any good? Round start, give me 1/1. No. Exchange any follower for an enemy follower. Maybe, because there's so many powerful things running around. And then Shimmering Mirage, not really interested in. And so I don't think we want the Bandle Balance. I don't think we really combo hard enough for that. So let's just leave. Sorry, Fallen Feline, you're not getting it cut in today. Then the Ethereal Remitter lets us make a deal, right? We get rid of a oh, hang on. These are powers that harm both players, right? So round start, stun the strongest and weakest unit. Then your spells cost 2 less, your units cost 1 more. Not really interested in it. Then the last one, Mercy Killings, kill all damaged units at round end. I could see us working with Mercy Killings if we want to, say, start casting our captive audiences for damage instead of mainly using it as stuns. I could see that being a thing. And maybe that'll actually be good up in the Lissandra round, letting us just like kill off a bunch of the bigger units. Okay. One of the other interesting points with it, I'm not certain how the sequencing of this works, but our Ravenborn Tome had Regenerate on it, and so if we have, say, Ravenborn Tome on Jhin, he takes some damage in combat and then regenerates and doesn't die at round end. That would be kind of nice. We'll have to see how that plays out. We'll probably mess it up at some point. What do we have in here? Anything strong? Not really. The Duelist is kind of okay getting us Challenger. I'm just going to pick up Disarmed and move forward. It's not the greatest in the Lissandra battles because the units are all so big, but I don't think it's bad enough to where I'm willing to burn a reroll on a non-kind of epic space. So, moving into the mini-boss, we're up against the She Who Wanders. When one of the foes... Or hang on, what's that? Round start, if the foe has something, they do the Rhymefang Pack. Sure, but then when one of the foe's unit strikes... One of the player's unit strikes, it's the neg attack damage thing, right? If our unit's not big enough, it gets obliterated. Sure. Read through that kind of quickly. If your unit has less than 4 attack, when it hits the enemy nexus, it gets obliterated. If it has more than 4 attack, it survives, but it gets -2 attack. And so it was a bit of a bummer we didn't get to see the Boom Crew rookie game. I was correct. I'll call myself correct in the sense that if the Boom Crew rookie remembers its mana cost as it comes back into hand. So if we make it cost 0, we can completely fill out the board with Boom Crew rookies. And so I'm going to look to it. It's going to be our big build-around card for the day. The place where our deck lacks for the Boom Crew rookie is we don't have any ways to draw cards at this point, as we immediately pick up the Unraveled Earth. And so the full combo is here. Another interesting little nugget that I just pieced together in my head is we have the round end damage stuff thing, right? And we also have the free Blade's Edge every turn. And so we should have a lot of opportunities to just kill off the opposing unit. So here I'm going to drop the Unraveled Earth. That's going to be our second card draw for the turn. Now we can start to play the Boom Crew rookies for free. And then we'll just take the trades everywhere, prevent as much damage as we can on this attack, because we're just going to refill the whole board with more Boom Crew rookies. Now what we're going to look to tie this into in the future turns is when these Boom Crew rookies attack, that's going to be 6 skills. And so it's going to make the Tybalak activations a lot easier and faster, right? As we count down 6 off of a single attack. And then on the flip side of that, when we do get to put Tybalak on board, he's going to... actually, let's take down the Rhymefang Pack. Once we get that Tybalak on board, all of these Boom Crew rookie skills are going to deal an additional point of damage. And so, nice little bit of synergy that we've been able to piece together there. So with this, let's get our Jhin on board. Should ideally be able to pick up a bunch of stuns. I guess the bummer for the attack this round is going to be that we're going to end up losing all of our Boom Crew rookies. But I think we'll still just go ahead and make the attack. Looks like Jhin will grow to 5 because of Lotus Traps, so he shouldn't die in the middle of combat. And then the Lotus Trap will get a stun on the Valir's Prophet, so it's not going to get to damage Jhin. Oh shit, all of our dudes did grow to 4/4s. Looks like they all still died, so maybe they need to be 5 powers to survive the round.
I will see you fail.
And Entomb onto Jhin. I think it's okay at this point. Still get that big chunk of damage in. Can still pretty easily refill the board next turn, and then I'm just going to Blade's Edge anything that the opponent plays, so it'll die at the end of the round. Hang on to the captive audiences, though. Being free is a bit of a treat. Lets us refill the board with Boom Crew rookies next turn and still be able to kill or stun anything that they play. A little bit of a different Boom Crew rookie turn, though, right? If you saw it on the previous round, the previous attack, we could just put all of these Boom Crew rookies on the board, block everything, and then come back in with another set of Boom Crew rookies. But we don't have the mana to do that this turn, and so it's not going to be nearly as strong. But we'll take the stuns on both units here. Take no damage. And we can refill the board with Boom Crew rookies. We'll look to Blade's Edge, the Wrath of the Freylord, off of the board. And then we'll have a pretty good attack next turn. Our Jhin is almost flipped. Or it looks like he's going to flip as soon as the Frozen Tomb comes back, right? He'll just hit the board and flip and stun the opposing team, and then we'll attack. So with that in mind, let's just send the Blade's Edge to face. He's not going to get to block anyways, right? So I don't think I talked about the Steel Tempest at the beginning of the battle. It's a burst speed effect, and so it's not going to put a skill onto the board. Jin's going to come down, he's going to flip, and it's just going to immediately stun. And so the opponent doesn't get a chance to react, and they also, it doesn't mess with like the stack. And so something that can be problematic with Jhin is running out of stack space on the board, right? So we attack here, we put like 1,000,000 skills out onto the board. You don't have the opportunity to lose with this, with that Steel Tempest. It just happens at burst speed. None of these skills would end up overriding it or prevent it from landing on the stack. But good stuff, easy kill. Well done, Boom Crew rookie. I was worried about how effective you were going to be earlier, but I think you just showcased how sweet you can be. And so yeah, we'll need to try and pick up like a little bit more card draw, right? I don't like that we have this combo and our only card draw is from the Unraveled Earth. And so it shouldn't be tough to find, right? There's a ton of items that do it. Ideally, the item I think we would want is the one to where your champion starts in your opening hand. And so it doesn't guarantee that we'll have 2 card draws on the first turn of the game, but it's pretty close to getting there. Now with these, there is a card draw spell in the Hidden Pathways. That's not really what I'm looking for. I want to find items that do the card drawing. And so I'm just going to pick up the Elusive onto Ziggs. We get a couple additional copies out of him as well. And then we'll move forward from there. And so our choices now, Mind Meld. I don't know what that does. And then Slotbot lets us buy rerolls. I'm kind of tempted to just pick up the Slotbot. But what's the remainder of these battles? I do have to remember that they are relevant at this point. I'm usually not happy about going into these like mega chest things, and if we're going to stop and say like, okay, what do we need for our deck to be effective, it's not really powers or relics, whatever these things are called, the general off-game boost. That's what you pull up the rulebook for the game and it says select your general off-game boost. You know, that's that's exactly what Riot had in mind. But no, those don't tend to have card draw effects in them. There are a couple things like fast draw to where you draw an additional card every turn, but I think we're going to be wanting to go towards like spell chests, item chests to try and find ways to get that extra card draw. And so going towards the vicious enemy up here at the top to go to the boost, the general off-game boost is not what we're going to want to do. And so, and I don't remember what Mind Meld does. I got to get all this shit just back on the site so I can look it back up when I need to. But Slotbot lets us buy rerolls, which I'm not opposed to. And so let's just go ahead and purchase some of that. We currently own 2. 4 seems like a decent number. And then we're going to move into battle with the Snowy Razor Claw. Alright, so back into the choices. We dropped around to the Snowy Razor Claw, just had an all-around awkward draw. I couldn't remember if I forgot to Blade's Edge a unit that we would have killed at the end of round, and so at least got it in my head that that's a thing that we need to keep in mind. And so here, I guess we'll just take more Unraveled Earths. Like, it's not a card I really want, but I guess shuffling copies of it into our deck isn't that bad since it does cycle pretty easily, and these other cards are just dog shit, and so I guess we have to take it. It does give us an additional way to draw a card in the face of the good plays with the Boom Crew Rookie, and so maybe that'll be okay. Now, as far as these upcoming battles go, we either have a shop right now or a shop down below. I forget what the Trundle battle is. When the foe summons a big unit, make it bigger. That sounds like the kind of thing that we would want to do battle with. I think that we can just keep their stuff stunned every turn and Blades Edge down, so the scaling doesn't really get to happen. Otherwise, I think Ornn is capable of just hitting the board faster, which worries me a little bit. And so I'm going to come down. We'll battle up against Trundle before we get into the, hopefully before we get into the Lissandra round. And so let's dive in. We go to the item chest. Nothing in here really draws cards. I guess we could try and summon infinite Preservariums if we want, but I'm going to pick up this Power Riff on the Ravenborn Tome. Just getting it onto board seems like a pretty decent deal, or getting it on board cheaper seems like a decent deal. Now into the shop where we really need to hit. As far as the items go, I'm trying to check and see if we have any card draw stuff. Nothing is turned up down there. At the top, nothing draws cards either. And so we're going to have to start taking some rolls. I think I want to roll on the cards first, just because there's more opportunities to find stuff that we need. And so hopefully that kind of idea will come together. Captive Audience I do love adding in, but it's already free for us. The portals we don't want, the Bright Steels we don't want. Time Trick does give us a way to draw a card. I mean, I guess we can do it. Like, Brainworm isn't something that I'm really looking to add into the deck, but there's like, my concern is that we also just like dilute the quality of our deck, right? We can't spend the second and third turn of the game just playing Time Tricks, right? And so I am a little concerned. I think I might pick up one copy of it so that if we roll and find a different Time Trick, then it's already got the discard thing attached to it, but it's not really what I'm looking for. Now within here, interesting stuff. This is what we definitely want. Like, this is what exactly I'm talking for here. This Spellslinger with the game start draw me if I'm not in your hand. That should be enough. Like, I think that that's probably where we can quit in terms of looking for card draw things. So we'll stop there. Papercraft Dragon is moderately interesting. We don't have the Overwhelms to make it super strong, though. So I think we will end up skipping over that. I'm just going to drop back down and start rolling over items now. And so Jhin with +3/+1, not that great. Oh, Oh man, I missed the idea out here on the Boom Crew Rookie to where I cost 1, so that he just literally works all of the time, right? Huh. I saw the Poro fluffed and I was like, nah, that's not anything that we ever want. But now that I stop and think about it, it's like, well, if you cost 1 and we've drawn a card for the turn, which you do every turn, you're just going to be free all of the time. And so, do we ever want to circle back and pick that up? Because I'm not really worried about the Boom Crew Rookie's health. Okay, we have to do it. We just have to come in and purchase that. And so, with our money here, it's kind of fucked. We can't get 225 to pick any of these good items. So let's just reroll at the top again and see if anything turns up here. So 1 mana Broadmane is kind of interesting. We don't super need Lord Broadmane because we do have the round end kill the unit thing. And so I don't think we need him. But let's be real, like this is a very powerful ability. I think I am going to pick up the Broadmane. Just like having 1 mana Broadmane sounds exceptionally good. Alright, so any of this other stuff interesting? There is a card draw in the Crumbling Sands. The Obliterative Follower is quite good against Lissandra, right? She's not a champion-centric battle, she's a follower-centric battle, so maybe we'll pick these up as well. Alright, I don't know. I feel like I've really, like... I have a good sense of what I want the deck to do, but I feel like we've come out here and just fucked it up with a bunch of, like, I call it half-assing it, right? Ron Swanson tells you don't want to half-ass anything, you want to whole-ass one thing. And I feel like we just kind of took too many tangents with what was happening there. I think we're still capable of finishing off this game and successfully winning, but we did a bunch of weird stuff in there. But... a lot of nice combos here to start. We have our Boom Crew Rookie. He's going to be coming down for free. We've drawn the Spellslinger for free for the turn. Lord Broadmane does have a nice combo with the Pow Pow, and so we can look towards that as well as a means to... oh, that is annoying. I assumed our Rookie was going to come down as a 3-1 and not a 1-1 so that we could come in and just block. Alright, fine. So let's fill out the board with rookies. I guess it'll also give us the... well, with the way the rules of the game work, I'm trying to decide on how we're going to come in and try and kill this Troll Ravager just to get it off of the board. So things should go in the order of the attack token, right? So the opponent should regenerate, and then it will come to our turn to, like, opponent's round end effects will happen, which will be the regenerate, then our round end effects will happen, which will be the damaged units die. So the Troll Ravager should not die to the Blade's Edge. So let's do this. Let me make sure I use the Broadmane right. Deal 2 to an enemy. Your fast spells, slow spells, and skills have, when I damage a stunned or damaged enemy, kill it. So we need to Blade's Edge first. And then the Lord Broadmane skill will kill the Troll Ravager.
Noxians are not the monsters they make us out to be.
I'm not a Lord Broadmane connoisseur, so I definitely got to stop and read that. Now, I don't think we want to get the Boom Crew Rookie on board. If we can back-to-back Pow Pows onto a unit, the Broadmane will kill them, and so I think that's what I'm a little bit more interested in terms of keeping the opposing board clear. It's like we just turned straight into a control deck after that shop, right? Hitting the Broadmane with all of these abilities, and so you control deck lovers out there should really be enjoying this. All right, let's see. We get the Pow Pow in. All right, so it came back to hand. We'll get the kill on Trundle. Oh, it's not a fast, slow, or skill. All right, well, this is kind of scary, but I want to take this turn to make sure that the sequencing works how I think it's supposed to work. That the Trundle's just going to die at the end of turn, right? Our stuff, then his stuff, so his goes away. Okay. Happened there. Now, the one that I'm not certain about is the regenerate on our unit from this Ravenbloom Tome. All right, let's get Trundle off the board before he can add another unit. And then we're doing okay. I mean, the game is going fine. It's going to take us a bit of time to get the clears. It's a little bit slower with these Boom Crew Rookie-based kills, with them being 1-1s instead of 3-3s to start, but I think we're doing fine. Let's continue to burn the skills, try and get more captive audiences in hand. And I think we're okay from this point forward. 30 coming in. it's a bit of work. It's a bit of work there. Harsh Winds, not the real damage dealer for our deck. So the undermines from the Boom Crew Rookie are what we're actually dealing a bunch of damage with.
Leave your bags at the door.
Alright, so yeah, we should be able to just broad main down any unit that they add to the board. I think we're in pretty good shape here. I think this one is done. This is, I was going to say, this is probably the round where he gets to start ice pillaring, which is a little annoying. That's a little annoying as well, my friend. I don't really approve of you coming in and killing our units this way. But, man, we are so far away from lethal as well. But I definitely want to kill the Ith that Stares before Lord Broadmane goes away. Now we'll just have to see if we can't get back on board with some reasonable dudes. Yone comes in, not really who I was interested in finding.
There's magic, and then there's me. Hang on. We're rolling.
Ooh, Bushwhack Trap. This is the worst card in the game coming at you.
That's so cool.
But no, we'll see if we can't get this Mana Soul student up to a big attacker space, I guess. I mean, if she's getting 2 skills a turn, it's not the worst thing that could be happening.
Again, crew.
Now we do have to remember that we don't get the broad main kills like we were.
Oh, it's
So I'm gonna just bring in the stuns. We can kill this stuff at the end of the turn, though, as far as our
Fang's turn.
round end damaged units die thing goes. Where are we at here in terms of damage? 16. It's not a lot.
There's a scent in the air.
I think we're still okay though. Just gotta control deck him a little bit.
Captain's orders. Bullet
That
to
took him to 20, and so we should be able to Blade's Edge this turn, Blade's Edge next turn, and call it a day. Still gonna put the damage. Oh, the Wrath of the Freylord will die anyways. He's ephemeral. Okay. Oof. It's wild how this deck has changed from a very like Jhin centric into a very Boom Crew Rookie centric into a very control deck centric kind of offering. Very strange to see it come together like that, but it at least makes me feel like I think we're in decent shape coming up against Lissandra, right? As we just need to be able to kill a lot of these big units. We don't have to actually get the kill on it, we just have to deal damage to it and then have it die at the end of the turn. I think that'll probably be okay. So, all right, what do we have going on here? The defective swap bot, kind of interesting. If you want to start with this thing in your opening hand and then say swap with a swap with an It that Stares, or the Watcher, when the Watcher comes down is like a 200 or whatever it is. And so I think I'm actually going to stack this up. Just having it start in our hand at the beginning of the game, should be reasonable. Now I'll come down to the champion item chest because I want additional copies of Jhin. Let's just pick up the Power Riff as well, right? That's exactly what we're trying to line up a lot of our deck being good with, just getting the advantages out of that card draw. And all right, off to Lissandra. What is she? She's in the Mega Scar Grounds. Let's see what we can do. Okay. Ooh, I felt good, I felt bad, I felt good, I felt bad. I'm back to feeling good about this, I think, and so we'll have to see how these rounds go. So let's get rid of Yone, let's get rid of Ziggs. We've got the good start with the Boom Crew Rookie. The Ravenbloom Tome should be coming down for free. It's not a bad start. Not a bad start. Swap bot, we'll get our little Our little spider should be coming into hand as well. Why did? Oh, we already started with him. That sucks. That's a bit of a bummer. And then we did pick up a second Boom Crew rookie, so if this first part gets cleared out or whatever, we should have some good follow-up. Dude's got a bunch of frozen thralls. Man, that's so awkward with our units here, in the sense that, you know, I'd love to just block this and put damage on it. I think we play the Ravenbloom Tome right now. So when he attacks with the Titan, we can block it, put damage on it. Oh shit. I forgot about this stupid fucking Lissandra around to where we can't come out and just combo forever. Oh Jesus fuck. I should have known better. You all that are bigger Path of Champions players just immediately realized what was gonna happen. Like you're just saying like, wait and see what's about to happen to Bust. He's gonna get zinged so hard by the Path of Champions rules. Oh fuck. Okay. Well, I'm still gonna play as many rookies as I can this turn. Again, it's kind of a bummer. We don't have the way to just deal damage at this point, right? With all of these things being tough.
A dark cloud looms on the horizon.
My first big mission.
Now things are into expensive mode. But we definitely have to attack. We need to pop off with all of the skills, and then maybe that's just the way we look at it. We get all of these Boom Crew rookies in, we attack with everybody. We're going to generate those captive audiences. They won't be free because game rules are stupid, but maybe that'll help. Okay, well at least we're growing, right? Now we'll get the kills at the end of the turn. Everything's gonna be fine, isn't it? You didn't block? Well, I guess we can at least block and then stun his stuff. Okay. Ooh. This is one where I definitely need a redo. I would feel much better about this if we got a second opportunity, a second try. So he brings in a bunch of ice shards. His units aren't really going to be taking damage. I'm still trying to see if we can zing the Watcher. It's not going to happen this turn, right? I really wish we could see the Oracle's Eye. Both of his frozen thralls are going to pop, and then I think he can play the Watcher.
Stinging cold.
Alright, that's weird. The frozen thralls, they had the animation attached to it, but then they didn't do anything. Okay. So I think we can play Spellslinger and stun something. Right, this is what I'm looking to do here. We'll stun... We haven't played any cards yet this turn, right? So we can play something afterwards. Right, we can play the Captive Audience onto the Frostguard Thrall so we don't die. And then we can look to maybe Thermogenic Beam something. Maybe we just need to get the Corsair down. Does he ever... Okay, the Watcher's too far away. Right, if we can get some of these blocks in and not die, and then we get to clear out what's on his board. Doesn't seem like this is a realistic possibility. It seems like we're just about to get zinged. Did we prevent max damage? We should be able to do this and prevent more. Get that block on the Frostguard thing that doesn't have Overwhelm. Okay. And then that'll take Lissandra off board at the end of the turn, so hopefully we don't have to worry about more ice storms or ice shards, whatever they're called. I think this is where we're at. We're just going to start dealing damage to this stuff. Shit, he's got another Lissandra. Why isn't he playing the Watcher? Right? That's what we want to see happen. We want to see him play the Watcher. And so I'll put the damage onto Lissandra as well, so she can die at the end of the turn. Now, is he going to do anything? Draculorn Inquisitor doesn't super matter. Like, none of this is really tying in to how I want it to work. He's going to be out of mana at this point. I'll play the Thermogenic Beam for the heal. Gotta put it on Draculorn so that he doesn't get this other Frozen Thrall. He's going to have 2 units on board. I'm not certain how the opponent will handle the attack and stuff for the turn, right? We might get an opportunity to generate some more stuns, depending on how this stuff goes. The Swap Bot is a skill, like the Blade's Edge is a skill. If he doesn't just open, just play the fucking Watcher, dude. This is like literally everything we're trying to set up, and you're doing nothing to help. I think we're probably just too far behind at this point. Like, we have to Blade's Edge face to try and pick up a captive audience. And then, I mean, I guess we can see if he plays the Watcher, and then we get to swap bot the Watcher, and maybe he won't attack, right? Right? Maybe? Well, we at least got the... we at least got the swap bot on the Watcher. Oh, cool. Cool, my dude. Fuck. Okay. Well. I had in my head how we were going to win this with getting the giant unit onto the swap bot and then stunning his whole board and getting an attack in. And, oh man, brutal, brutal. Just wasn't really able to chain together the skills that we needed without being able to make our big Boom Crew rookie plays. And so, like, as soon as it hit, as soon as it happened, I was like, oh fuck, like I know that people are Path of Champions regulars that are really more in tune with how these events go, saw us assembling this deck like halfway through and were like, LOL, this guy's about to get fucked. and that's essentially what happened. We came out, we built this deck around the Boom Crew rookie, and then it was not enough to tackle Lissandra. Now, it's not to say that you can't use these abilities against Lissandra, right? You just need to draw 3 more cards within the turn. And so maybe it was something that we would have been able to pull off on like turn 6, but our deck isn't really up and running at that point. And so I like the idea that we were carrying through a lot of this as to where we need to focus on the card draw kind of cards so that we get the Boom Crew rookies down for cheap. Having the cards that draw into your hand at the first turn of the game really do enhance this power rift type of ability, since you get that guaranteed draw and you're really able to jump off to the races on the first turn of the game. But yeah, that was a bit of a whoopsies, a bit of a bummer in terms of getting these skills up and running. And so I think if maybe I had a second shot at Lissandra, I might have been able to take that down. Like if I could have, I think we had some good stuff going in terms of, you know, being able to damage the units and get it to die at the end of the turn and cycling stuns and damage. Like I think the tools that we needed were here to be able to win this round. It just hasn't, like, it's like as you jump into a match against a deck you've never played in PvP and they drop a card on you weren't expecting or something, and it's just like, oh, well, I know that now. And once you have that in your brain, you're able to kind of adjust accordingly. But yeah, we went into this one. I think our broad stroke strategy was good, and if we had like circled back to this battle 2 weeks from now, we would have just completely smoked it. But it was a good learning experience for me, and I hope you got to learn something out of that as well. And so, good stuff. I had fun with that. I hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. So, if everyone enjoyed the video, hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way, and you had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.